We're kicking off our annual gift guide shows. This is Mac Voices. This edition of Mac Voices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter to keep you up on all the latest from Mac Voices. Watch or listen to Mac Voices straight from your email client. Sign up at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay up to date. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, it's that time of year. The cold weather is starting to encroach on central Pennsylvania, and at least for me anyway. And that means it's time for our annual holiday gift guide shows, where we invite some of our panelists from Mac Voices Live and some of our other friends who appear on the show regularly, or sometimes we just go out and drag somebody in off the street and ask them for their ideas of great holiday gifts to give or get this year, because sometimes giving means giving to yourself. So that's what we're going to do. We never know exactly how many of these we're going to get in because of scheduling, and we definitely never know what our panelists are going to pick, because sometimes it's very much as you would expect, and sometimes it comes right off the wall. So we'll see what happens here. Let's go around, find out who's here for this first gift guide, and then we'll take off. First up, Ms. Kelly Guimont. Kelly, welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah, it's nice to be here. This show every year is why you are in my email as VIP, to make sure that I get in early so that exactly all the things that I pick are ones that I actually get to put out on the show instead of having to resort to backups.
I see. Okay, well, that's good. I'm glad that if that's what it takes to achieve VIP status on your list, I'm all in. I'm all in.
I'll tell you who does not have VIP status on my phone, and that is Mr. Kelly. So,
oh, good.
That should tell you something.
Okay, that's just really disturbing.
He doesn't ever send me email though, so it's fine.
Oh, okay, all right. Patrice Brend'amour is back with us. Patrice, welcome.
Hi. Yeah, this was kind of an accident. Like last year, I remember I had a hard time scheduling and it was very late. And this time I'm on the first row. So I don't know how that happened, but it worked out. It's late. And then you said winter is coming to Pennsylvania. I'm like, winter's already here. Like in Austria, we have right now 34 degrees. So.
Ooh, okay. Yeah.
It is cold. It is really cold. Yeah, it's like, it went from like 60 or 50-ish to like 30 and I don't know, feels like a week.
Yeah, well, we've kind of had that bouncing in and out where one day it's like, oh my God, it's definitely winter. And then the next day it's like, maybe I can get away with just a sweater today. So
we
not
called that last week.
Yep. Yeah. Joining us for his very first gift guide, Mr. Warren Sklar. Warren, welcome. It's great to have you join this little panel.
I've heard so much about it, and I've seen him. And then, I heard that Chuck picks 3 lucky winners at the end and sends the gift that we suggest to us. Is that not true?
I hope so, yeah.
That's a rumor. Don't believe everything you read on the internet, Warren. No.
Oh, that's too bad. That was going to totally change.
Somebody might have left it in the reviews or something like that.
That's the whole reason I joined. So bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end of the year, Uncle Chuck puts on his hat and he sends out like 5 of the grand prize gifts to everybody.
Well, if somebody
it's exciting to be here.
If somebody picks a rubber band, you got it. It'll be in the mail. Other than that, it's been a rough year.
Free shipping.
If it's a nice Apple designed rubber band, I'll take it.
Yeah, there you go.
You never know what's going to come out next year.
$19 value, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's get to it, because these are always fun shows and popular shows, and I always enjoy doing them. Kelly, I'm going to try to keep that same order going around the screen, my screen anyway. So I'm going to give you the first pick of the first gift guide of 19. Good, that's great. Of 2021. Yeah.
19.
Wow.
Sure. Yeah,
feels like it.
Gifts. Yeah, the hot gift for Christmas 2019.
Yeah.
My first one is something that's a new iteration of something that is reasonably recent, and I realized I sort of accidentally had a theme for all of my gifts this year. And I like to come in with the budget picks. Like, I'm not rolling in to go, what's an awesome Christmas present is a Tesla. Like I'm not here to do anything like that. Although if I'd known that Chuck was going to send me one, that may have changed things somewhat. So what I had, my first one, all that to say, my first one is this little picture frame. And the reason for that is because it comes with this base. You set it up, and this is the new iteration of the PowerPic from 12 South. So the back of it, this is a wireless charger, a Qi charger, and it's got this little lip in the front. So what you do is you put the picture of your choosing in the frame, and then you put your phone on it, and it charges your phone for you.
Nice.
And so, you'll have to plug it in the back, but it'll take it comes with the cable. So you've got a little cable that comes off of it. And, if you decide that the picture you really like is a sideways photo, you just pop that out and flip it over, and you can put it sideways as well. And the other thing that's super great about it is if you decide you don't like the picture, the front just attaches with these little magnets. So you just pop it off and then swap out the picture for whatever you want. So this is what it looks like on the inside. It's just clear, and it's got this little black unit for it. And then you can put this on your desk, or, see, now it's right back to, and it doesn't come off or anything. So like you can put it on your desk, you can put it on your nightstand and have a nice photo. But then additionally, you can set your phone on it or your AirPods. Like if you have AirPods Pro, I think if you set them sideways, it will charge those as well. And then you've got like a nice picture, but that picture will also additionally charge your phone.
That is so cool. I have to get that. I mean, that is like for your desk, like for your desk at home or work. Like that's perfect. Like you can put it there, have a nice picture, and nobody knows that it's even a charger, and you can just throw your phone on it or whatever.
And like anything with 12 South, like the bottom, it has little rubber feet, so it's not going to mar up your desk. This here is sort of a soft rubber, so if you set your phone there, you're not scratching anything up, and it fits in the ridge really like firmly. So I didn't do it because like I'm not necessarily particularly stable, but like if I shook it, it wouldn't come loose or anything like that. And so you just set it there, and it looks nice. And then additionally, bam, it will charge your phone for you or your AirPods or whatever will take power from a nice Qi pad. And so that's my first pick.
That's very nice, Kelly.
Very nice.
And just to be absolutely clear, you were talking about sticking an old style paper photo into that frame.
Yes.
It's not an electronic display. It's just
no.
Not just makes it. I didn't mean to say just, but it is a picture frame for a still
a printed photo. Paper photo. Yes. Right. Okay. Or a postcard if you have a postcard that maybe you want to put in there. But one of the things one of the things I really appreciate about it is the frame can go either direction. So if you have a nice wide photo of a bunch of people or a nice landscape that you've taken with your phone, you can print that out and pop it in there. It's very easy. And I've done it with varying thicknesses of, like I've tried it with actual printed on photo paper photos, as well as like a couple of postcards and things. And the magnets stick the front on really, really well. So it also makes it very easy to swap out. And that's from 12 South. I don't remember if I talked enough about that, but they make what I think are really thoughtfully designed things. So they make a lot of stuff like, this seems like somebody actually wanted to use it. And so then they designed like, it's got all of the stuff in it that's sort of sensible. And right now, the going rate on that is $59.99 for that one. So for a nice picture frame that will also charge your stuff.
Very nice. Very nice.
Right now on the website, it's $39.99.
Oh, nice. Of today. And also,
so I don't know how long.
It also comes in white. If you don't want a black base for your frame, there's a white base as well, and then the white pad on the back. So if you wanted a white one, because you want your office to look more like an Apple store, you could do that.
Nice. Good pick. Good first pick. Patrice, can you match that first pick with Kelly?
I mean, in a way, maybe. I don't know. I don't think I can keep up with that. Like 12,000 is awesome. I have a book, and I have a book from a person that actually gave away a lot of like cars and money and stuff, from Oprah Winfrey. there was a new book this year that she released. That kind of like my picks are all gonna be like health related because I mean we're kind of coming out of a pandemic, and I think a lot of people, including me, have been like taking a very close look at their health and like mental, physical, like all of it. So this first one is more for your mental health. The book is titled "What Happened to You? Conversations on Trauma, Resilience, and Healing," and it's a great book. It's a conversation between her and an actual like researcher. I think he's a psychologist, a PhD psychologist, something like that. Bruce Perry, and like she's interviewing him in that book, but she also injects her own experience. So it's not that she's like it's all about her and her experience, or it's all about the research. It's kind of a mix, and it makes it really interesting because like the research can be really boring, her stories can be really interesting, but like the depth. So it's a really great conversation. There were so many things that I recognized being in therapy myself. I recognized have happened to me as well, and other things that I'm like, oh, it makes sense. And it's about. I mean, it's what the title says. It's about going from like why does that person do that, or like what's wrong with that person, to what happened to that person. Like why are they the way they are? So great book. It's on all the places that you can expect. Like I got it as an audiobook, which is awesome because it's Oprah and Bruce Perry, sorry. But if you prefer the printed paperback version, it's on Amazon.
Very nice. Very nice. I know you said you had a theme, so that's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, it just came up lately. I just went through all my picks from this year, and kind of happened that I had a lot of health-related stuff, so why not?
Well, it seems like it's one of those years that maybe health-related stuff rises to the top. Yeah. Okay, Warren, your very first pick of your very first ever gift guide.
I'm going to go safe.
No pressure.
So I'm going to pick the stupid Apple cloth because I know other people couldn't do it, and I might as well get it in. But you know, I do have it. It's a decent cloth. You know, everybody's been talking about the worth of it. Is it worth is anything, you know, what's worth? I mean, people buy T-shirts that are expensive because of a certain brand. I mean, that's why it's a good gift. It's something that somebody probably wants and won't spend the money on themselves because they don't want to feel stupid, but they'll get it. If you give it to them, they won't feel as stupid. And, you know, I envision it not being really used, if somebody gives it to you as a gift, they'll just kind of like, you know, support somewhere because it's not a great cloth, but it's nice looking. And it's probably going to be like, you know, for an Apple fan, they're going to enjoy it.
Okay. I honestly didn't expect that to make the first round, so that's interesting.
Yeah. I'm new at this, so.
Well, that's
okay. A good question.
Yeah, and hey, and you have firsthand experience with it, so you know.
Yeah.
What more?
The only issue is you may not be able to give it to somebody by the holidays, so you may need a rain check to give it to them. That's the only problem.
Like I owe you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or I could give them a used one and get a new one for myself.
Or just wrap up a tissue and put it in a box and just say, you know, this is a substitute until the real one gets here.
Take one of the ones you have and write on it, I owe you. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Don't ruin it.
Did you do the teardown as well?
I looked at the teardown. I did not do a teardown of it.
Okay.
I imagine it rips just as others, but I do have Apple Care on mine just in case it does rip.
What? Apple Care on the polishing cloth?
Yeah.
But
you need care for
does
the
it have a notch?
Does
it have a notch, Warren? I need to know.
Oh.
I could cut out a notch and, you know, put on eBay and say, look, it's a notch one.
Yeah.
That's limited edition. Edition of one.
Only
it's a goofy
buy now
thing.
for $100,000.
People like it. Yeah, so you know, I know Apple friends that would like
Yeah, autographed by Warren Sklar. There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, there you go. Now it's 200,000.
Uh, well, my first pick of this holiday season is something that I had one for years, and it finally gave up the ghost this year. And the funny thing is that before the pandemic, I had bought a second one, intending to put it somewhere else, and I have to confess, I never got around to installing it. So I had my replacement right there as a backup, and that is a Ring video doorbell.
Oh, I was wondering where this is going. Like, what did you get?
Me too.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of there are a lot of great doorbells out there, a lot of great options out there, but the Ring was one of the first, and I know that there have been some security questions over Ring's handling of things, especially providing video to law enforcement. But I got to tell you, as far as I'm concerned, my Ring does everything I want it to do. Honestly, I was shocked when I realized that I'd probably had my first Ring video doorbell installed for about 8 years. And so that's a pretty good life for something like this.
Huh.
So I got the Ring. I went the Video Doorbell 3. So I didn't go with any of the super high priced ones because really I just needed to do some of the basic functions, and they do it. But it is so nice, even though we've all been locked in the house and all. And you can argue, do I really need a video doorbell? It's nice not to have to be able to answer the door without having to answer the door. And my house is such, it's one of those that I don't have any security door or even a screen door between me and the outside world. So if I open the door, I'm there.
You're there.
And this is just great to be able to hit that. And the people on the outside can talk to you. You can talk to them. You can see who it is before you answer it. And ironically, around Halloween time, I had this very strange person. Well, it was kind of strange looking. Ring my doorbell, and I was not home, but of course I had the video of it. And I ended up consulting with the local group on Facebook about, hey, has anybody seen this person? And it ended up being a salesman, but it was kind of weird because
on Halloween night.
No, just in Halloween season. But they had a string of jack-o'-lanterns wrapped around their neck, as I guess they thought it was cool.
Shine.
I thought
Seasonal,
it was a trick.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
It was a kid get dressed up as a ghost.
yeah.
I've literally been to a store and had my stepdaughter have a full conversation with the neighbor's daughter who was at the door, and they wanted to play together through the video call.
Yeah, my in-laws
I'm
do
like,
that. Drives me crazy.
The thing I want to ask about it, Chuck, is that a subscription camera? Or a subscription doorbell, I mean? Because, mine isn't, and that's why I'm asking. So
Yeah,
it can be. Let's be careful of that. You don't have to.
Correct.
So you could get Ring without the subscription, or you could get a better subscription that holds some of the footage for you.
Right. I do the 30. Well, it's $30 a year for the annual subscription. You save a few bucks off of it. But again, for me, it's well worth it. As opposed, I know there's some newer doorbells out there, and honestly, I might have looked at those, except for two things. First of all, I had this in hand, and second, I really have not. I don't feel like I'm missing any features that I use, and so that was a big thing for me. Is just stick with what you got until you see something that somebody comes out with, and then maybe I'd consider upgrading. Yeah. But right now, I'm super happy, and from a security standpoint. And sometimes if you're away from home, it's just nice to, hit your doorbell camera and see what the weather's doing at home or see what's going on at home.
True. Yeah.
So
if you the Ring, should I rush home?
The Ring that I have is not home compatible, but if you have if you set up Homebridge, it will do that. So it's a little wonky, but if you have a Homebridge, you could get the Ring and Nest both to work on home cam.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah. Well, and I only want to ask because some of the doorbells and the security cameras and things like that, some of them don't work at all if you don't have a subscription, and some of them work, but if you want to actually store, if you want to store it longer or something, you have to pay. So I just want to make sure we have like the right functionality so that somebody doesn't get a doorbell like, I just bought you something that requires a subscription. You're welcome. So
Right.
You're welcome. Paying $100 a month.
Don't worry, the Ring will remind you every time you open up the app.
Oh yeah, they're very good about that. But Kelly, you bring up a great point. I mean, if you are interested in video doorbells, it is worth doing some research, depending on what features are important to you. I mean, again, I can't stress that because Ring has a whole line of doorbells, and you can drop some pretty hefty money on one of these video doorbells.
Oh yeah.
But they also have a whole lot of features. So figure out what you want. But honestly, this is one that I honestly think that in today's world, you are now at a point where you should have one of these, not a Ring or somebody else, but some kind of video doorbell. And if you're not sure, the Ring is a great place to start. So
you also get some cool things like on the app, you get the neighborhood watch. You get some alerts about break-ins in the neighborhood too.
Yep.
So with the app, you get some some updates like that.
I still get updates from Phoenix. I haven't lived there in 2 years, so I still get their updates. It's just super interesting to see what's going on in the neighborhood.
I live across the river from a city in Jersey that's sort of high crime. But so the Ring kind of picks them up too. So it's interesting. We get an alert that there's been a shooting, and you look at them like, all right, well, it's across the river. We're okay.
Well, on that positive note, that'll end round one. Warren is interested in shootings across the river. That's good. Ho, ho, ho.
At least, yeah.
Yeah. Kelly, kick us off to round two.
Okay, so I have one of these, and like Chuck, I got to the point where I was realizing the age of my particular device, and went shopping for a new one, and discovered that they have been upgraded dramatically since the last time I shopped for one, and that is one of these little jobbies. Sorry to get technical, that you can put in the car. This, it goes in the olden days, it was the cigarette lighter in your car. Now it's just the power port in your car. But this one, which is only this big, which is to say it is not very big. It has 2 USB-C ports. It will charge my phone. It will charge my iPad Pro. It will charge my Nintendo Switch, and it will charge, and I have tested this and verified, my laptop. My 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro charges in the car from this dealie. Now, I have not tried it like while I was transcoding video to see how hard that was on the battery or anything like that, but it definitely maintained as I was doing sort of like I was, writing some emails and things, like doing some offline work, and it kept the battery from diminishing as I was using it. And it's only this big. And the one that I have is from a company called Spigen that has made iPhone accessories for a long time. So they were a name that I knew. And I bought it for 2 reasons. Number one, so it's got 2 ports, which was also a thing that I appreciated about it. One is 45 watt, which is the one I use for my laptop and my Switch. And the other one is the little one is a 20 watt port. And I bought it because it was a name that I recognized, and it had enough throughput. And there were a number of reviews where people said this came out I charged my 13-inch MacBook Pro on it, and it was fine. So you may need something more if you're charging larger devices. If you've got a 15-inch or a 16-inch machine, maybe even a 14-inch machine, you may need something a little more powerful than this. But as far as I only occasionally ever need to charge my laptop, but all my other stuff needed to have a bunch of power and work reliably, this was a really nice option for that. And a lot of people, this is the kind of thing like Warren was saying earlier with his pick about things some people may want but may not think to buy themselves. And so that's always a thing that I think makes a good gift. Like, it's never going to occur to you that you could update your car charger into something that will actually charge all of your stuff. But it will. So, and I want to say I paid about $30 or $40 for this one. Like I said, they have them that are more powerful, that have and they're more money. But this was like the balance of a brand I recognized that had reliable reports, or at least enough reports that it seemed like it would charge my laptop. So this is the one I picked.
Yeah,
Very nice.
back when I had a car, I had one of these too. Like they're super handy.
Is that two USB-Cs or one
Yes, they're both
USB-C, one
USB-C.
USB?
Yeah, this one is
Okay.
two Cs. I almost bought one that was one A port and one C port. There's a number of those that are out there. I think, in fact, Spigen may make one. Anchor makes one that USB and USB-C as well. Because then at least I could do something with my old iPhone cables because I could use them with the car charger that I have. So that was one thing I was thinking about. But mostly it was just it would be nice if I like whatever I have that needs power, now I can plug it in the car. And so that seemed like a really handy way to do it. Because I was just looking I need to charge my phone most of the time and my iPad every once in a while. And when I went looking, I found out that they make them in laptop flavor too. So there you go.
You gave me a gift idea with that. Just real fast, they sell on Amazon for like $5. It's USB A to C dongle. It's a tiny little thing.
Oh yeah.
You can plug your A cables that you were talking about into that if you want to. That works.
If you really need to. Yeah.
And then my other question is it Spigen or Spigen? Because I've been saying it wrong.
I've heard both.
I don't know. I've always said Spigen or Spigen because it's a GEN, and so
I've heard Spigen a lot. But
We need somebody.
So I don't know. If I'm getting it wrong, I'm sorry. And nobody from their PR has ever reached out to me whenever I've talked about their stuff on podcasts. And they're like, you're screwing it up, Kelly.
For my own benefit, actually. But yeah.
So just to be clear, Kelly, there's no difference in power delivery for between the USB-A and USB-C ports. It's just a matter of what you're plugging into it.
What cable you have. Yeah.
So,
that was all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And
I could see for the laptops there being a difference because USB-A is not rated to the level that would be needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for a laptop, it would need to be a C to C cable. For the Switch, I don't think I know I've charged my Switch with an A to C cable, so that one's fine. Yeah. But
you could charge like a USB-C laptop with a USB A to C. I've done it. It takes forever, but you could do it.
It's like plugging your iPad into your iPhone charger. Like you can, but
it recognizes it. And
only if you leave it overnight. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, but you're in the car, so it's. I don't think your car is going to be the preferred place to charge your laptop.
True. Yeah.
Precisely. So I just wanted, and that was another reason that I went with the one that I went with instead of getting, because after about 45 watt, they get a lot bigger as far as the thing that you plug in. So, making sure that it just, I wasn't actually using battery, it was just sort of maintaining the same battery level. If I was using my computer in the car, that seemed like the most reasonable thing as far as the balance between like, do I want to plug in this giant chunky thing 100% of the time for like 5% of the usage that I have for it, or, get something else that's going to be pretty good most of the time. And charging my phone is just insanely fast. Like even in the slow port, the 20 watt port, 15 minutes in the car, and my phone is supercharged and it's really nice. So,
Okay.
So that's my pick. Car charger that will do your laptop too.
Nicely done. So Patrice, what's your round 2 pick?
So my round 2 pick is we're going to move into physical health, and I have a device that I bought earlier this year. This is a blood pressure monitor, like one for the upper arm. This one specifically, the company's, I think the name is Medisana. I think that's a German company. I checked, and in the US, they have some devices available, but not this specific one. So I have, I would say in general, any Bluetooth-enabled, HealthKit supported, and FDA-approved blood pressure monitor is my pick. I have one that I'm going to put in the chat for you, Chuck, and you can put in the show notes from iHealth. iHealth, I know, is a good company. I know Withings or Withings or whatever, like another one of those companies that nobody knows how to pronounce. They have good ones. In general, does not matter. Buy the one that you like the most. But it's a super important thing. Like if you're above a certain age or you're at risk anyway because of your family. Like I'm from my dad's side. Like heart related like deaths are amongst the number one deaths in the US or in the world, I think. So it is super important that you keep an eye on that. And this device, I think the others work more or less the same. Super easy to use. It has an app, connects to HealthKit, and I just put it on in the morning. It takes 20 seconds, and then it's done. So it doesn't hurt. It's no pain. I literally just do it before I go to work. So I said, keep track of your health because that's super important. I said in those devices, the only thing I want to say, the wrist devices that you see sometimes they're not as reliable. So I would stay away from that. So this is like a standard. You have seen those. Like if you have ever been to the doctor's office and they have taken your blood pressure, they usually have a device like that. I said Bluetooth enabled, very important, so you can get to your data. Otherwise, if you have one that's not Bluetooth enabled, or I don't want to pay that money, that's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be. It's important that you take your blood pressure. It's not important that you have it in your phone. But this is a tech show, so I would say get the Bluetooth one, get the HealthKit one, get it in your iPhone.
Patrice, just a couple comments on that. First of all, I know what my doctor told me because I had concerns about the cuff being properly calibrated. And he said, it's really not that important that it's perfectly calibrated. It's more important that, that it's consistent. And so if you have concerns about calibration, then take, 10 or 20 days worth of stuff, take it into your doctor and let them compare it to what their gear is. And then you get an idea. But the main thing is the trending,
exactly.
Are you going up, going down, going sideways? What are you doing? And the second thing
is it high? Is it low?
Yeah. And the second thing is I noticed that you're taking it before you go to work instead of after, because that's probably a good idea, because after work, your blood pressure is always going to be up.
Yes.
So.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I have a couple of times forgotten in the morning or did it later in the day, and it's usually higher.
Yeah.
It's just work. You're just stress levels play a role. That's why I said also FDA approved, because they're relatively accurate. They follow the instructions. For the one I have, the instructions literally says put it on your upper arm. I think it's 2 inches or something above your elbow, and that's it. And I've compared it to the one at the doctor's offices, and they're within couple beats. It's not important if it's 124 or 126. That does not matter. The question is it really low or really high? That's the thing you should be concerned about.
I got myself one a couple months ago off Amazon. Yep, I'm in that club where I need to check my blood pressure every couple days. So
I said I'm lucky so far. I'm good, but I have it on my dad's side. So I'm I've had my dad and my grandpa. They both had heart attacks. So there's that concern.
Yeah. So we want you around for next year's gift guides, folks. So take this.
Absolutely, yes.
Take this one seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Warren, round number 2.
I guess my idea of hard drinking and smoking is not going to go well with the Patrice's health. No,
you have to have fun too, so it's fine.
No.
Just don't take your blood pressure right after you do that, and you're fine.
Oh yes, no, not a good idea.
My next pick is going to be the 2020 M1 MacBook Air, because I am sad that I just got rid of mine. Well, I'm sad and happy. I traded it in for one of the Pros, but I'm seeing a lot of deals right now on the MacBook Air and on the M1 Pro as well. Almost $750, $800 for the base model. It's a great machine. I would have no problem, gifting it to a child for school, or giving it to, a parent if they need something like that. It's cheap enough now, and it's a great machine. Nice and light. Give it to somebody who's not going to be upset that they didn't get the new Pros, obviously. but I know there's going to be a new model. They're talking about the new models coming up already. But I think the price is right at this point if you want to do it.
And no touch bar.
And no touch bar. Yep. No notch.
Yeah. For people who-
Already out. No notch. Like, won't
It's a
buy
notch.
that.
It's a notch. And,
If it doesn't have a notch, I won't buy it.
and only
It's
two
not an Apple product.
boards, but yeah. Other than that, it's I wish I could have kept both of them, but there's no need. So
Yeah, I have a funny feeling this is going to be one of the hot Christmas items because it is so powerful. It is so affordable.
Yep.
It has
For
so
sure.
much versatility to it that, like Warren said, whether it's for a school kid, you can justify spending that for something that can be used for a lot of years, or if you have, some, moderate to even high needs, depending on what they are. Yeah, these are nice devices. So,
or even
Okay.
like just a secondary device for like normal computer users like us. I mean, it's a perfect set, for people who have desktops or even a heavier laptop. It's perfect. It's almost like the 12-inch MacBook that came out. That was like the perfect complementary device to your major device. So, it's more than powerful than it needs to be. So, it's good.
good. My third or second round pick, excuse me, I'm going to have to take my phone off of it. This is more of a stocking stuffer, but this is something I use every day, and you're going to almost think it's silly, but I have a number of different stands and things to put the different devices in or prop them up. But this is and I want to make sure I get it right, the Nulaxy, I hope I pronounced that right, phone stand. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It will go, I wouldn't want to put anything more than an iPad mini on it. And I wouldn't necessarily want to have it propped this high. But if I put my phone on it, see if I can do this without dropping anything, sit this right in front of me, and it puts another screen right in front of me very easily so that I can, if I get texts or whatever, because especially if you're in an office, I keep the phone turned down, but things pop right up, or a lot of times phone calls that maybe I might not have seen come in are right there in front of your face. These things are super cheap. They're like under $10, give or take. And so I have one pretty much everywhere that I sit down to use a computer. And let's see if I can show you. But it is adjustable up and down. Not a lot. Whoops. Not a lot, but a little. And it's just enough so that if I pull it the whole way up, it's just the right height to not block any of my other screens, but to have my phone right in front of me. And if you can also look at this, you can see there are two little prongs here where the phones sit. So if you want to have a charging cable up in there, no, it is not MagSafe. No, it's not Qi, but I don't really care because that's not what this is for. This is for just easily putting my phone. And another thing I found, I don't know about you guys, but I have a tendency to carry my phone around when I'm at home and put it down places and then have to use my watch to find it again. And just the idea of having a place that, okay, if I walk into this room, this is where the phone goes and I know where it is. And that sounds, again, kind of hokey, but I'm telling you, it is.
I normally put mine in my pocket, but the few times I don't do that, I panic because it could be anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
The minute I don't, then it's who knows where. Yep.
Yeah.
So exactly.
This is an inexpensive little phone, but a holder, but it is nice and stable and adjustable. And so again, if you wanted to put a mini in it, you could probably even put an iPad Air in it and at the lowest height, and you'd be fine. But it is well worth having these, and you can stuff the stockings with a bunch of these for different rooms or different people and not break the bank. So hopefully that's an affordable pick.
Very nice. Definitely yes.
Yeah. Kelly, Patrice, and Warren will be back in the next edition of Mac Voices to finish off our gift guide number 1. Folks, this year we're going to do it just a little bit differently. We're going to split each gift guide into 2 pieces. That keeps the holiday spirit rolling a little bit longer and makes some of these a little bit easier to get through, so you get even more ideas for your gift giving or getting. So come back for part 2 of the first edition of the Mac Voices gift guide next time. Until then, and as always, I'm Chuck Joyner. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.